There is a dark irony in the maritime world. The sailors who die are often the ones who followed the rules the most religiously. This sounds counterintuitive. We are taught that rules save lives. But in the high-stakes environment of an ocean crossing, the real answer is that blind adherence to rules can be a death sentence. The ocean is not a rule-based environment. It is a judgment-based environment. The sailors who die are often the ones who prioritized the letter of the law over the reality of the situation. The most famous rule in sailing is stay with the boat. This is the rule of the sea that every beginner is taught, and it is generally correct. The boat is a much better life raft than a piece of rubber. But the real answer to why some rule followers die is the sunk cost fallacy of safety. They stay with a boat that is sinking or on fire because the rule says they should, long after the judgment says they should have launched the life raft. Or, conversely, they follow the rule of the harness so strictly that they become trapped by their own safety gear. Data from the investigation into the 1998 Sydney to Hobart yacht race, one of the deadliest in history, showed that several sailors died because their safety tethers were too long. They followed the rule of being clipped in, but when the boat rolled, the length of the tether allowed them to be thrown over the side and towed through the water. At 10 knots, the hydrodynamic drag on a human body is so great that they cannot breathe. They drowned while safely attached to their boat. The real answer was that the rule didn't account for the physics of the tow. Another rule that kills is the rule of right-of-way. In the international regulations for preventing collisions at sea, COLREGs, there are strict rules about which vessel has the right-of-way. A sailboat under sail is the stand-on vessel when meeting a powerboat. Many rule-following sailors have been crushed by 1,000-foot container ships because they held their course as the rules dictated, assuming the giant ship would see them and move. The real answer is that a container ship has a blind spot that can extend for 2 miles in front of the bow. They didn't see you, and they didn't feel you when they ran you over. The rule follower died with the legal right-of-way in a 15,000-foot deep grave. The real answer also involves the rule of the schedule. Never sail on a schedule is the first rule of cruising, yet 90% of sailors do exactly that. They have a flight to catch, a wedding to attend, or a weather window that they think they can't miss. They follow the rule of the window, even when their gut tells them the boat isn't ready or the crew is too tired. They die because they followed a human rule in a natural world. The ocean doesn't have a calendar, and it doesn't care about your estimated time of arrival. The sailors who survive are the ones who know when to break the rules. They know when to unclip their harness because being tethered to a sinking boat is a death trap. They know when to give up their right-of-way to a ship that clearly hasn't seen them. They know that the real answer to safety is situational awareness, not a handbook. The ones who die followed the rules because the rules provided a false sense of certainty in a world that is fundamentally uncertain. They died with their paperwork in order and their procedures followed, while the rule breakers were already at the bar, drinking a beer and watching the sunset. The ocean is the ultimate unregulated space. If you try to govern it with human rules, it will eventually show you who is truly in charge.